Welcome back to the Real Story channel. Once upon a time, in the vibrant Nigerian small village, where the sound of rustling palm leaves and the laughter of children filled the air, resided a humble fisherman named Barry. He was a place where families shared both joy and challenges, but beneath the facade of happiness, Barry's family was grappling with difficult times. The once abundant fish that Barry used to catch during his fishing expeditions had significantly dwindled, subjecting his family to the relentless pain of hunger. On a sweltering evening, as the sun transformed the sky into a golden and pink canvas, Barry trudged homeward with his empty fishing basket, burdened by the weight on his shoulders. The air was thick with humidity, and Barry appeared increasingly desperate with each step. Recent times had been harsh, and regardless of his relentless efforts, the fish eluded him, slipping away like elusive dreams of a bountiful catch. Walking along the familiar path home, flanked by mud huts and lively conversations, Barry passed the outskirts of the village where ancient trees cast long shadows. In that very place lay the forbidden river, a subject of harsh discussions and tales of curses and malevolent spirits lurking within its depths. Superstition had permeated the community, cautioning everyone to steer clear of the enigmatic waters. However, Barry's desperation grew overpowering, and his curiosity became too intense to resist. Doubt crept into his mind. What if the forbidden river held the secret to an abundance of fish, concealed behind the village's superstitious beliefs? The atmosphere grew heavy with uncertainty as he mulled it over, torn between the warnings of his fellow villagers and the pressing need to provide for his family. As evening descended upon the village, a peculiar stillness descended with it. It was in that moment that Barry made a momentous decision. Firmly grasping his trusty fishing spear and clutching a weathered basket, both bearing the marks of years of arduous labor, Barry ventured into the darkness of the night, heading toward the path that led to the forbidden river. Every step was taken with caution, mindful of not arousing any suspicion among the villagers. The mermaid named Nia expressed that the forbidden river was her dwelling place, contrary to the beliefs of the village. As they engaged in conversation, Barry couldn't help but feel captivated by Nia's enchanting presence. The river, once feared, now appeared as a safe haven where a mythical creature connected with a humble fisherman under the moonlit embrace of the forbidden river. An unexpected friendship began to blossom as the moon cast a silver glow over the river, and Barry and Nia engaged in deep conversation. Nia emitted a warmth that dissipated the eerie ambience surrounding the forbidden river as they sat together on a flat rock by the water. The gentle splashing of the river created a tranquil backdrop for their newfound connection. Nia's eyes radiated a mysterious wisdom, reflecting the moonlight, as she attentively listened to Barry's tales of village life, mud huts, and the challenges faced by the people of Yu. In return, Barry discovered the wonders of the underwater world that Nia inhabited. She described the vibrant colors of coral, the graceful movements of underwater plants, and the playful interactions with the creatures beneath the surface, hidden realms unknown to the villagers, concealed beneath the forbidden river. As the night progressed, a bond grew between the fisherman and the mermaid. They shared laughter over the peculiarities of village life and exchanged stories that bridged their two worlds. Nia, who had long guarded the forbidden river in solitude, found solace in the company of this simple fisherman in the serenity of the night. With a voice resembling a beautiful song, Nia's eyes sparkled as she expressed her thoughts to Barry. "This bond we share is unique, Barry," she said. "The village up there, with its mud huts and bustling life, seems both comforting and lonely. Have you never desired to venture beyond the familiar and explore what lies beyond the horizons you've always known?" Barry hesitated, casting his gaze upon the shimmering waters. The notion of leaving his village, even temporarily, evoked mixed emotions within him. "I suppose," he replied cautiously, "but my family relies on me. This is where I should be." Nia's expression softened, and she swayed her sparkling green tail gently in the water. "You are faithful and honorable, Barry. I admire those qualities in a human. But have you never pondered what lies beyond the surface, the wonders waiting to be discovered in my world? Barry's eyes widened in surprise. The idea of exploring the underwater realm under the guidance of a mermaid's promise evoked both excitement and nervousness within him. He felt torn between the familiarity of his current life and the allure of the unknown. With a mischievous glimmer in her eyes, Nia continued, "Imagine a life where hunger is unknown, where abundant fish and the captivating wonders beneath the waves reveal themselves to you. Barry, I offer you an opportunity to escape the monotony of the village and embark on an adventure that surpasses the surface." The offer hung in the air, captivating Barry's imagination. He envisioned a life filled with abundance and thrilling escapades. However, his obligations towards his family and his ties to the village kept him anchored to the world above the water. "I am honored, Nia," Barry stammered, "but my place belongs here on land with my people." Nia's expression momentarily turned sorrowful, and her lower lip quivered. But in an instant, her countenance transformed into a stern frown, and her eyes locked onto Barry, causing him to feel uneasy. The magical ambience surrounding them intensified as Nia's demeanor shifted. "I bestowed upon you a generous gift," Nia proclaimed, her voice now low and menacing. The once pleasant tone vanished, replaced by an air of authority. "However, if you refuse to come willingly, you leave me no choice but to take alternative measures." Before Barry could comprehend the shift in the atmosphere, Nia's tail angrily splashed water onto him the moment the cold liquid made contact with his skin. A strange sensation enveloped him, causing his arms and legs to go numb and immobilized, as if some external force was taking control. Barry tried to stand and flee, but his legs betrayed him, giving way like rubber, and he tumbled heavily onto the muddy riverbank. Panic surged through him as he realized he was under the influence of incomprehensible forces. Nia, her eyes now wild and predatory, swiftly swam towards Barry through the shallow water. Though her upper body remained beautiful, her lower half transformed into a powerful, ominously gleaming fish in the moonlight. As Barry attempted to crawl away, his arms felt feeble and useless, and all he could manage were feeble flops, like a fish stranded on land. The mermaid, now very close, seized Barry with her webbed hands and pulled him into the water. Desperation seized him as he tried to scream, but only gurgles emerged as the river filled his mouth. The world blurred and darkened as Nia held him tightly, drawing him down into the depths of the underwater world. The forbidden river swallowed Barry completely, and the dim moonlight vanished above him as the water ensnared him in its cold and unforgiving embrace. Unbeknownst to the villagers above, the fisherman had become entangled in the mysterious depths, caught between the alluring attraction and the terrifying truth lurking beneath the surface in the watery abyss of the forbidden river. Sunlight struggled to penetrate the depths as Barry found himself in a place that was both fascinating and somewhat frightening. Illuminated by Nia's powers, the underwater cave served as a hidden sanctuary beneath the surface, shielded from the world above. As his senses gradually returned, Barry became aware of his surroundings, the cold stone beneath him and the distant sounds of flowing water. Barry remained confined in the underwater prison for many days, the cave serving as a haunting reminder of his isolation. Nia, who had initially appeared friendly, revealed her true intentions, and Barry now understood the gravity of his situation. The allure of the forbidden river had transformed into a reality far more terrifying than he had imagined. Nia seemed torn between seeking companionship and experiencing loneliness, and she attended to Barry's needs, bringing him fish and river plants to eat, attempting to bridge their two worlds. However, each gesture carried a hidden expectation, a desire for Barry to choose a life beneath the waves that she offered. The rocky cave walls became both a sanctuary and a prison for Barry, and desperation filled every waking moment as he sought a means of escape. He scoured the depths, searching for any way out, hoping to discover a hidden passage or exploit a vulnerability in his underwater confinement. However, The cave kept its secrets, mocking his futile attempts to break free. During Nia's absences, when she went hunting or explored alone, Barry persevered in his efforts to find an exit. He peered into the shadows, yearning to uncover a concealed pathway or an overlooked weakness in his aquatic prison. Yet, the cave remained steadfast in guarding its secrets, and each escape attempt left him frustrated. As the days turned into weeks, Barry's once strong physique diminished due to the absence of sunlight. His pale, wrinkled skin bore the marks of captivity, and his tattered, damp clothes clung to his emaciated frame, a stark reminder of the life from which he had been torn away. In the dim light of the cave, Barry's resolve wavered. The notion of an underwater paradise had metamorphosed into the harsh reality of being trapped. However, a flicker of resilience remained within him, refusing to succumb to hopelessness. Barry understood that survival required both patience and unwavering determination. Then, on a significant night when the moon cast a gentle glow in the underwater world, Barry grew more introspective. Nia observed him closely, her gaze tinged with sadness, the effects of solitude starting to affect her after centuries of guarding the forbidden river. "Barry," she spoke softly, her voice laced with melancholy, "this loneliness is overwhelming. I have waited so long for someone who would choose to embrace the beauty of this world with me." Barry waited, perceiving glimpses of Nia's inner struggle, the loneliness mirroring his own. However, the offer of togetherness remained entwined with entrapment. "I understand your loneliness, Nia," Barry responded cautiously, "but my place is on the surface. My family awaits, and I cannot forsake them for a life beneath the waves." A fleeting sadness crossed Nia's face, momentarily softening her countenance. But in the next instant, a resolute determination replaced it, and her eyes locked onto Barry with an unnerving intensity. "You leave me no choice, Barry," she proclaimed, her voice now echoing unnaturally. "If you refuse to choose me willingly, then you will remain bound to the depths." Before Barry could comprehend the impending change, Nia's demeanor shifted. The previously friendly mermaid now exuded a commanding presence, chilling the once welcoming atmosphere of the cave. The pleasant melody from the initial encounter transformed abruptly into a haunting symphony. Nia's tail lashed out, creating a whirlpool of currents around Barry, defying the natural flow of water to fulfill Nia's desires. Panic surged through Barry as he felt the currents constricting around him, an incomprehensible force overpowering him. Unable to resist, Barry was dragged deeper into the depths, where the once life-giving water now felt like a suffocating embrace. Feeling the increasing pressure of Nia's powers pulling him toward the heart of the forbidden river, Barry struggled for breath. Just as Barry reached his breaking point, the currents subsided, leading them into a vast underwater cave adorned with glowing plants that emitted a magical light. A small opening at the top allowed a sliver of moonlight to illuminate an air pocket where Barry could catch his breath. Realizing the situation, Barry found himself lying on the rocky floor of the cave, with Nia's eyes lacking the warmth he had seen before, replaced by an unsettling calmness. "This is my home," she declared, her voice echoing in the cave. "This is where you will stay, and we will truly get to know each other, my friend." Barry's mind raced, seeking a glimmer of hope amidst the despair. He knew that escaping was becoming increasingly difficult, but his stubborn resilience refused to surrender to the depths. The mermaid, who had once brought enchantment, now concealed shadows within the underwater prison. Time lost its meaning as Barry grappled with his confinement. The cave's walls, witnesses to tales of captivity and resistance, seemed to close in, echoing the secrets of the forbidden river. Even in the face of immense challenges, Barry's indomitable defiance remained strong. The village above, oblivious to the existence of the forbidden river and its ensnared fishermen, represented a distant beacon of hope in the surrounding darkness. Barry clung to the belief that one day he would resurface, returning to the world he once called home. In the midst of the forbidden river, beneath the shimmering surface of the water, Barry found himself trapped in a peculiar prison. She also grappled with feelings of isolation. One night, As the moon illuminated the cave, Nia approached Berry with a peculiar expression on her face. Although her eyes still held a hint of sadness, they seemed to shimmer with something else, perhaps a touch of regret. The enchanting melody that once accompanied her movements had faded, replaced by a solemn silence. "Berry," she spoke, her voice echoing in the cave, "I never wanted it to be like this. The loneliness we both endure weighs upon us like a burden and a prison. Maybe there's a way for us to find solace together without being trapped here." Berry regarded Nia cautiously yet with curiosity. The shifting currents in the forbidden river seemed to mirror the uncertainty between them. Despite being confined by the mermaid's powers and the underwater realm, Berry sensed a subtle shift in Nia's demeanor. "What do you mean?" he inquired, his voice tinged with doubt. Nia gazed towards the distant opening where moonlight streamed in, her expression pensive. "I used to believe that having someone by my side underwater would alleviate my loneliness. But now I realize that my actions have only kept us both imprisoned. I cannot grant you the freedom you desire, but perhaps we can find a way to coexist without being trapped." Berry's brows furrowed as he contemplated Nia's words. The notion of finding a compromise between the surface world and the forbidden river seemed almost implausible, yet a glimmer of hope sparked within him, suggesting that perhaps a middle ground could be found. "I don't understand," Berry admitted. "How can we live together without one of us being confined underwater?" Nia gracefully approached Berry, her movements unaffected by the years of solitude she had endured. She extended a webbed hand towards him, and for the first time, he noticed a radiant pendant adorning her neck, a glowing jewel pulsating with an enigmatic energy. "This pendant," she explained, "holds a fragment of the river's magic. It can create a gateway, forging a connection between our worlds. With its power, you can traverse between the surface and underwater, basking in the warmth of the sun and uncovering the secrets that lie beneath." Berry's eyes widened, a mixture of doubt and hope swirling within him. The concept of a link between the two realms, made possible by the mysterious pendant, presented an opportunity for compromise that he had never considered. Nevertheless, skepticism lingered, as he couldn't shake the memory of his initial entrapment. "Why are you giving this to me?" he asked, his gaze fixed on the radiant gem. "I'm tired of being trapped, but why should I trust this?" Berry's loneliness had driven him to question Nia's motives, plagued by the mistakes that had led to his confinement. Nia's eyes brimmed with sincerity as she responded, "Berry, my weariness stems from my own mistakes and regrets. Perhaps with this pendant, we can find a way to break free and establish a connection that allows both worlds to coexist." As Nia explained, Berry sensed a shift in the water surrounding them, and the pendant softly glowed in response to the mermaid's yearning for redemption. With caution, Berry reached out and touched the jewel, a surge of energy coursing through him. Suddenly, the cavern transformed, the air pocket expanded, and Berry found himself standing on a rocky ledge overlooking the forbidden river. The surface of the moonlit world shimmered above, and the nocturnal sounds were now clear, no longer muted by the depths of the water. Nia explained that this pendant would grant Berry the freedom to traverse between their worlds, enabling him to explore both the surface and the depths. This connection would break the cycle of captivity. Berry embraced his newfound freedom and felt grateful to the mermaid who had once imprisoned him. The forbidden river, once a symbol of confinement, now held the potential to bridge two worlds. In the following days, Berry moved between the surface and the depths using the pendant's power to transcend the boundaries that had previously held him captive. He relished the warmth of the sun, reunited with his family, and immersed himself in the familiar scenes and sounds of village life. However, the mysteries of the underwater world continued to beckon him. While exploring the depths with Nia, Berry discovered hidden marvels beneath the surface, colorful coral formations, shimmering schools of fish, and the graceful movements of underwater plants, all of which became an integral part of his dual life. The pendant served as a conduit, allowing Berry to relish the abundance of both worlds. Although the village remained unaware of Berry's newfound abilities, they welcomed him back with joy. His family, who had once feared losing him, embraced him tightly. Yet, Barry couldn't bring himself to reveal the mermaid's role in his transformation. The Forbidden River held secrets that surpassed the understanding of the surface world. During peaceful moments between the surface and the depths, Nia and Barry forged a bond that transcended the confines of captivity. The mermaid, who had once been the sole guardian of the Forbidden River, discovered the companionship she had longed for. Barry, now a link between two worlds, became living proof of the potential for understanding and unity. As time went on, the village flourished, and the Forbidden River transformed into a symbol of coexistence rather than fear. The mermaid's pendant, a magical and redemptive artifact, pulsated with the energy of connection. The limits that once seemed insurmountable now stood as a testament to the strength of the human spirit and the enigmatic depths of the Forbidden River. Thank you for your attention. We'll meet you again in future videos.